Hello and welcome to this Dotacinema production. My name is SUNSfan. This is the SkyNet League second group stages. Not exactly sure what that means, but we'll see what that means after a couple of games here. I get the details and whatnot. I am officially solo casting, which is the first time ever, so this should be a lot of fun, a lot of me rambling. So if you enjoy me rambling, then stay tuned. This is virtual eSports.SWE on the Radiant. I'm sorry, that's the Dire actually. Versus EPIDEMIC on the Radiant, who apparently are a very good team. Now, I just want to talk about these bans before they get underway, because as we're seeing a Lich ban along with the Anti-Mage Night Stalker, the four standard bans right now are Anti-Mage, Night Stalker, Furion, and Broodmother, which means Broodmother is available. As Lich was banned, I would consider him a 1.5 tier pick/ban, meaning he's usually picked in the first round, but not banned, considering that you have somebody like Broodmother that's still available. So, definitely expect Broodmother to be the first pick, and then Windrunner to be the second pick after that. Some people are really, I don't know, they're kind of annoyed with the fact that the picks are exactly the same, as they actually go for Windrunner first, so they're just daring Virtual Esports to pick up Broodmother here. And a lot of teams don't even get to play Broodmother because she's usually banned anyway, so maybe that's some strategy that they're thinking about. Not sure. Either way, Lich, I don't have a problem with the Lich ban, but considering that there is a Broodmother available that has a lot of the, well, I consider Furion and Broodmother very similar in the fact that they push the crap out of your team, and there's not a whole lot you can do about that, so we'll see if they end up picking that. But what I was trying to say is a lot of people are annoyed with the fact that the picks are so standard, usually, so far. And I say, wait, it's beta. And now to talk about standard picks and bans, we have a Crystal Maiden and Earthshaker. So neither team really wants to pick up the Broodmother at this point, which is very odd. Virtual Esports being very generic with the Crystal Maiden and Earthshaker. I'm sure they're trying to hide the fact what they're trying to do. That does look like a tri-lane in the works though, so expect a Weaver, expect somebody to go along with that, and then two solos to boot. So, and this is really amazing that nobody's picked Broodmother. At this point, I expect him not to be picked and not even banned, because I think both teams are showing that they do not want to play Broodmother for whatever reason, which is amazing. I've been watching and casting, and Broodmother is literally in every single game if he's not banned. So this would definitely be a first. As Puck, another generic pick. So we have a solo in Puck, a side solo. We have most likely a tri-lane in the works, like I said, with Crystal Maiden and Earthshaker, and with somebody to come. So kind of hiding the fact of what exactly they want to do, which is smart. But at this point, okay, they're going to actually ban Broodmother. I don't know why, because you already have the solo in Puck. Technically Brood can mid, but at this point, like I said, there doesn't look like they want to even pick Brood. So I think it was a wasted ban, but I mean, who knows. And followed with a Spectre ban. So looking at both teams, neither team really has a carry. I mean, looking at EPIDEMIC right here, they have the Windrunner, who's going to be a side solo most likely, but could be a tri-lane or even a dual lane, I guess. That's one of the most flexible heroes in the game, so it's really, you don't really know where she's going to go. Along with the Rasta, who I think is a solo-only hero, and then Tidehunter in some sort of support role. So still very versatile in the fact that you don't know exactly what they're going to be picking. So Broodmother and Weaver going to be banned, which Weaver, of course, is a great ban. Like I talked about, the Virtual Esports might have wanted to go for him in this tri-lane, but remains to be seen what they actually want to do. And they end up banning Spectre, like I was talking about, which is very interesting, because I haven't seen him in quite a while. I mean, with an anti-mage ban, you'd think that, I was going to say Dro and Void are the hardest carries, and Spectre being a close fourth, I guess, after the fact. But they end up banning Dro and Spectre, so Void is still on the board here, and it looks like they're actually going to be picking up Viper, so a tanky type carry role. So they're going to be needing some sort of a mid, unless they end up wanting to do a Viper mid, which is definitely a possibility as well. So throwing a little bit out there. And I mean, EPIDEMIC in the meantime picks up Mirana. So still, they have good team fight with that Tidehunter ultimate, and Mirana able to help initiate with her ultimate. So they go for a Venomancer. This is a really interesting lineup. So it's starting to look a little bit more like a push lineup with a pseudo carry and a Mirana. As far as their lanes are concerned, that's going to be the most interesting thing, because you could do pretty much anything you want. You have, I think the Rasta you have to solo. Oh my God, Tiny even picked up. He's definitely going mid. So at least the lanes for virtual esports are a little bit more predictable, I guess you could say, with Tiny mid, Puck most likely bottom, and the tri-lane top. But I'm just looking at EPIDEMIC here. I'm just not exactly sure what they're going to be doing here, because I mean, the Rasta I feel like you have to solo, and that against Tiny isn't the worst matchup in the world. But the rest of the, I mean, I guess Windrunner I would consider a solo as well, although you can obviously, like I talked about, be a support, but I doubt they want to do that. And then perhaps even a tri-lane with Tidehunter, Veno, and Mirana. And usually if you're going to go a stun heavy, like let's say you have one stun in your tri-lane, you're usually going to want to go for a second one on top of that. And if you have one slow, you want to go for a second slow to boot, and that's exactly what they did. So we'll see if they end up laning like that. But let's go over who is on what. So we have, this is going to be fun. On Virtual Esports, SUNSfan on Viper, Malefication on Earthshaker. It looks like they're going top. We have Kraken on Crystal Gaiden, or Maiden if you prefer. Kepo on Tiny, and I don't know where Crystal Maiden's exactly going. I mean, technically they could dual lane mid, but I doubt that at this point. And then we have Super KGE, which sounds like a medical procedure, on Puck, going to be soloing bottom. And then for EPIDEMIC we have Team question mark. I don't feel like making that sound like a question, on Mirana so far at bottom, so you could definitely solo as well. I don't think I mentioned that, but that's should be pretty obvious for people that have watched Mirana in pretty much every single game since she's never banned. Thon Mayo. That sounds delicious, actually. It's making me a little bit hungry. On Venomancer, along with Kranich, who I definitely have heard of, on Shadow Shaman, who I will be calling Rasta for the rest of the game because Shadow Shaman is just ridiculous to say. Not a Hacks on Windrunner, and Dreamshock on Tidehunter. So, looking at the lanes for EPIDEMIC right here, it's looking to be... Okay, it is going to be a tri-lane. So it's going to actually be a tri-lane with the Windrunner as the third, which is very interesting, because I thought it was going to be Mirana, but I guess it makes a little bit of sense considering that, I mean, both Mirana and Windrunner can definitely solo, so it looks like we're going to have a little bit of action to start off the game here. Earthshaker's going to throw out a stun, but he's going to get perpetually slowed here by the triple combination of Tidehunter, Venomancer, and Weaver, and by Weaver, of course, I mean Windrunner, who ends up getting the last hit with the power shot. So a good start for EPIDEMIC, 1-0, and I think at this point, as we are going to actually have a duel lane, which I think is actually really good. The Tiny Crystal Maiden against the Rasta, as long as they can actually hold this Rasta to limited farm and, more importantly, limited experience, because I think that's a hero that you don't necessarily need a lot of farm on, but the levels are way more important. So expect them to be a little bit more aggressive starting at level 2 or so, as we're going to have some roaming from Venomancer and Tidehunter here. So we'll see if they end up actually getting anything out of this, but that's the luxury they have with a Windrunner on the team who can just completely solo this lane, even if it's a 1v2, which is going to be here for a while, as Earthshaker finally walks back there with his fat, disgusting body. Looks like a Venomous Gale's going to come out on the Tiny, and we're going to lag horribly. Don't know if that's me or the game. Probably the game. We'll just assume it's the game at this point. But they were definitely privy to that, considering that Windrunner was basically alone there for a good 20 seconds, as we're going to have a little bit of pressure applied to the Shadow Shaman. I don't think enough damage is going to come out here. Actually, he's doing a little bit more damage to Tiny here. Is he going to be able to get the kill? And yes, he does. And he shackles Crystal Maiden to boot. Wow, this is not a good start for Virtual Esports. So 3-0 in the favor of EPIDEMIC at this point. And there you're seeing some roaming power from Tidehunter and Venomancer this time. So they initially couldn't help out with the gank to start off, but came back and obviously got the kill. So good job by them, knowing that Windrunner can definitely... And this is actually the power of the lineup from EPIDEMIC. So much flexibility with the solo Windrunner, with the solo Mirana, and of course the roaming Tidehunter and Venomancer, who don't necessarily need that many levels to start off the game. So excellent job by them. And I think this middle lane is the most crucial, considering that Rasta is the most level dependent hero in this game, in this specific game. If you're actually, you could argue the most level dependent hero in the game, but we won't go there. I don't know. I mean, he's going to get good levels now that he has the advantage in levels right now at the very early stages. So I think leaving the Tiny mid solo against him is definitely risky in the fact that he's down a little bit, but I don't know if you have much of a choice here. As Crystal Maiden's going to be guarding the double damage. She's actually be taking it for herself, and perhaps going to come mid to gank that ever elusive Shadow Shaman. By ever elusive, I mean he's the easiest hero to gank, so I don't think they should have much trouble as long as they combo their skills correctly. A little bit of damage coming out here on Viper, and by a little bit I mean a lot. A nice Earthshaker stun there to help. Well, it's not actually going to do anything as Viper's going to get killed. So they can completely dive at this point. They have level advantage, they have lane advantage, they have lane control. Poor Earthshaker, going to put out another fissure, but it's most likely going to die in the end here as I'm living some more. Venomancer actually has to run away. He might actually die to this siege. He is going to die to the siege. That's going to be the first kill for Virtual Esports. Tidehunter will get the kill on that Earthshaker. Viper is going to TP in, might be able to actually kill this Tidehunter, but it's still going to be in the advantage of Epidemic in the end here. So as Tidehunter can try to eat a little bit of trees and actually might get away here. Is actually going to get away, and I don't think anybody from mid's going to be able to help out. As Rasta is looking for that 4-minute rune. It's going to be bottom though. Another DD actually. Not sure what happened. Did Crystal Maiden do anything? Did she die again or something? There's no way. She's 0-2. Did Rasta really get another kill? 1-0, 2 assists. I don't know. We'll just assume that she died since she wasn't mid for whatever reason. But a level 2 Crystal Maiden, level 5 Tiny, who finally has bottle, and the DD bottled at this point. But this bottom lane is kind of the most, I'd say it's a wash with Mirana and Puck, both having escape mechanisms. Both are probably content with just farming at this point, so I don't think a whole lot of action is going to happen here, as apparently Puck is a little bit lower than Mirana at this point, so Mirana definitely has the advantage to start off here. Has the Ring of Basilius and the bottle in the side lane, which isn't the most common thing. I'm kind of surprised that she hasn't been seen at the bottom rune, considering that the runes have been there the last 2 times. But perhaps can be taken advantage of in the near future. So Earthshaker, Viper at top versus the Windrunner, and they're not gonna be able to kill her ever, unless Earthshaker gets an amazing fissure. So that's what that's why the lanes are so much in the advantage of Epidemic at this point. But I mean, at this point, honestly, Virtual Esports needs to do something. Like this mid lane is the most crucial. It's gonna have a slow from Crystal Maiden on Rasta, but Rasta's going to be able to get away. So that's what I'm talking about. Rasta, no escape mechanism. They should not be able... I mean, they should be able to kill him. Tiny's going to toss a creep into the face of Rasta, but Rasta's like, you know what? I'm just going to ult Crystal Maiden, and then I'm going to hold Tiny with the help from Venomancer, and I'm going to get another kill. So this is a huge swing. I'm going to say huge swing because Rasta should not be winning 1v2 in any situation. It's just truly unfortunate. As we have a little bit, a nice shackle shot on Earthshaker and Viper power shot to boot. Tidehunter is going to have a gush up, should be able to get the kill on Earthshaker if he chooses, but he might be saving. He's going to actually use it on Earthshaker and get the kill. And he's going to try to run away. Crystal Maiden is alive yet again after the 3rd death. And the Viper is actually going to be able to get the kill on Tidehunter. So good to see that, a little bit of trades going on, but 10-2 in the favor of Radiant at this point is just not good. Shadow Shaman's going to try to gank top. I don't think anything's going to come of it considering he doesn't have his ultimate at this point. But looking at the scores here, actually let's look at the creep scores. 24-11 for Windrunner, who, I mean, basically 1v2 for all intents and purposes in the top lane. So doing a very good job in that respect. Along with a 31-2 Mirana compared to the Puck, who is 16-11. So Mirana is dominating the bottom lane. So much for what I said should be a completely even lane, as she actually had to go back to base. So maybe a little level advantage at this point for Puck. But regards to the fact, looking at the rest of the CS here, as we might have some action mid. Nope, those are on the same team. As apparently Venom got the kill on Tiny, so missed the kill. First kill missed. Must forgive me. Actually, I'm not going to apologize for that crap. Screw that. This is actually a very action-packed game, so it's going to happen one way or another. But looking back at the creep scores, like I said, 31-2 for Mirana at this point, along with 30-0 for Shadow Shaman against that 1v2 is pretty insane. I mean, Tiny's 29-6, so he's definitely keeping up, so that's good. There's a little bit of action bottom. Nothing's going to come of it, though. Top lane, Earthshaker's going to get caught out yet again. Some nice cock blocking by Tidehunter, who's 2 levels higher than Earthshaker at this point. Unfortunately, the power shot's not going to hit, so they're not going to be able to get a kill there. But yeah, Tiny's doing fine in the farm department. They're not killing Shadow Shaman. That's the only thing. As Puck's going to be able to get away from Venomancer, who's... I mean, this is what I like about what Epidemic's doing here. They're completely roaming, because they know they have the advantage in all 3 lanes at this point. So it's good to see that they're actually taking advantage of that with the ganking of other lanes that aren't exactly in the favor of them, which would be bottom, I guess. Other than the CS score, level advantages, there's no level advantage. It's pretty even overall. As the 8-minute rune again is bottom, it's going to be invisibility this time, so maybe a little bit more beneficial for Tiny to pick up. As Mirana's finally going to use that bottle, it's going to grasp it from the hands of Tiny. So finally using that bottle, and that actually would have been pretty big for Tiny if he could have gotten that, because at this point, level 6, he could insta-gib, well, I guess Rasta. I don't know. How much health does Rasta have? 800 health? I don't know. That's pretty close, actually. Only level 6 Tiny. I don't know. Actually, that would have been enough. But with the help of somebody else, definitely could have gotten the kill. So Mirana definitely snatching that up from beneath his bowels, as she actually uses it. And looks like she wants to actually take advantage of it here. Gonna run into... Nope. He's gonna see the Crystal Maiden, but I don't think anything is going to come of it. As Venomancer's now... I don't think he saw Kraken. By Kraken, of course, I mean Crystal Maiden. But middle lane... They definitely can set something here on Tiny. Oh, actually, Venomancer shows himself a little bit too early. Thought that Rasa would actually initiate, but nothing came of it. And now Tidehunter. So 4-on-1, essentially, if they want to dive Tiny. One level of Kraken Shell will be enough to tank that tower for a little bit. As we're seeing somebody draw on the map. Look at that. Look at the strategies. Look at this. Amazing. I'm going to draw something here. See if they can see that. I doubt it, but that's fine. I don't think they could take any strategy into that anyway. And it's actually Tidehunter and Venomancer going to get caught off here. So this could be really good for Virtual Esports. Viper going to get the kill. Tidehunter is going to try to run away, but Puck's going to end up getting the last hit. So a nice catch there by Virtual Esports. Getting a little bit back in this game. I'm looking at the gold advantage, and that's not the gold advantage. It's the wrong graph. Let's look at the big graph that takes up the entire screen. 4,000 gold experience or gold lead for the Radiant, and that's not a surprise considering how the lanes have gone. But I mean, no tower skills. So usually I'd say 4,000 isn't that much of a gold advantage, but considering no towers have been killed, then yes, that's quite a bit at the 10-minute mark. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of amalgamation at top here. Shadow Shaman, aka Rasa, Venomancer, Tidehunter, and Windrunner are going to be trying to perhaps push this lane. Since Veno does have his, what level are they? Level 3 wards. It should be enough to hold off the wave to some degree. And expecting to put him like right here, exactly, right there to actually just hold the lane so their creeps don't get killed by the tower, and then they can actually take these creeps out as fast as possible. They have pretty good lane pushing too, so wouldn't be surprised if actually. And actually, it looks like Virtual Esports is going to be grouping up here to some degree to try to counter this. But the entire Epidemic team is here, so perhaps some TPs incoming from Earthshaker and Tiny. Not sure. Mirana invisible. I believe that is the second invisibility rune. There's the ward trap on the Puck. Wow, that was really, really freaking good. Earthshaker's trying to do a lot of damage. Mirana is actually going to get caught off here using the invis rune, and then the leap to actually get away. But's going to get killed to the Earthshaker. Earthshaker's going to die as a result, though. And complete diving going on here. Only one person hit by the Tidehunter ult, but it's not going to matter because their entire team's basically dead. I mean, it's a 2-for-4 trade, and Tiny's going to try to run away. Nice semi-cock block there. Oh my god, a nice shackle. Going to hold Tiny in place. Going to be the death of him. That's going to be a... I'm gonna call that a team wipe. Even though people are alive, that's just because they're so low level that they're going to be spawning right away. But essentially a team wipe for the Radiant, and this is going to be an easy... The wards are still alive. This is going to be an easy tier 1 kill after the fact. So now we're going to look at the gold lead. And look at that, it's almost 6,000. See, I don't like how they do these graphs. It's just... I was never good at math in school, so it's kind of confusing. Like, oh, it changes increments every time. It doesn't stay standard, so you have to actually look at the graph. So we're going to say it is 7,500 gold lead for the Radiant, and that is quite a bit at the 12-minute mark now. As Mirana's just going to... And this is the good thing about the Radiants. They have a little bit of fallback in the Mirana as far as the carries. She might get cut off here. Oh, a leap just in time. Tiny not able. I was expecting Tiny to actually initiate with the stun, but chose to wait for Crystal Maiden. Not sure why, considering that Mirana has that escape mechanism. Let's look at the items. Anything juicy come up? So 2 bottles. I didn't even think I mentioned that. I know Mirana, I definitely met. But Rasa, not too surprising having the bottle. So 2 bottles on the Radiant here. Along with the Arcane Boots on Rasta at the current point in time. Phase Boots on Windrunner. And looks like Tidehunter will be going for that Urn of Shadows, which arguably... And by me, and if you talk to me, it's not arguably the best item in the game, Urn of Shadows. And actually, Push Staff by Windrunner already. That's pretty freaking fast, not gonna lie. And looking at Dire, they don't really have much, unfortunately. Yeah, actually they really don't have anything, do they? We have Treads on Tiny, and that is really it. So at this point, if you're down, you need to start taking some risks. You need to start organizing some ganks. I mean, what do we have? Earthshaker level... Oh my god, he's only level 5. I was going to say, you should use Tiny to initiate Earthshaker into the battle with his toss, but it's not going to do much if Earthshaker isn't level 6. But he is somewhat close. Shackle Shot not going to hit, but doesn't matter. Earthshaker's going to get killed. Poor Earthshaker, not able to hit level 6. Tiny's able to get off the stun just in time, actually, but I do believe he's gonna die anyway. Winrunner gonna get the last hit, and Crystal Maiden better be careful. Was trying to save his teammate, and a nice Shackle Shot. Oof, this is not looking good. As Puck's gonna come in for some reason, once I get a constellation kill on Rostov, it's gonna get killed as a result. So going one at a time, very sloppy play. Ward's gonna get the kill on the tier 1 tower mid. And let's look at the gold lead. This is actually fun. I keep clicking on the wrong thing. So basically an 8,000 gold lead here for Radiant. Tidehunter's going to use his ultimate, and this is looking just dirty. He's going to get killed. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade, but I do believe Viper is going to get killed by Venomancer because of that amazing slow that he has. And Poison. So 22-7 in the favor of Epidemic, who I think is considered to be one of the top teams in this tournament for sure, along with... Actually, there's a lot of good teams in this tournament. I'm looking at the list, the tentative list of teams we're going to be casting very shortly. Panzer, I think, might be considered the top. Then there's Praetor Kunkus, which we're going to call PC from now on, who I've seen play really well and put up a good fight against, I think it was SK, actually. But yeah, they're definitely legit. Reason Gaming with their brand new team, that should be exciting to see. And I mean, for even Virtual Esports, I'm surprised that they're getting completely stopped at this point because they're actually a really good team as well. Any team that, oh man, Arrow's not going to hit, but Crystal Maiden is most likely going to get killed here. Windrunner picking up all these freaking kills, 5-0 for Windrunner here, along with the Shadow Shaman being 5-5. And you can just see the defensive nature here by the Dire. There's just not anything they can do. Earthshaker needs to hit level 6 if they want to have any team fight capabilities. And the Rasa wards in combination with the Venom wards here are going to be just disgusting. Rasa does have his wards available and might be looking for another ward trap. There's the stun on Tiny and the ward trap to boot. That's a dead Tiny. And Rasa's going to continue with that haste rune activated and they're going to get a kill on Earthshaker, who's still not level 6. My goodness gracious. Puck's going to have a nice ultimate here. It's going to help get the kill on Shadow Shaman. And the GG's already coming out. Shackle Shot not going to be able to hit on Viper here, but doesn't matter. Venomancer is going to get the last hit. I mean, looking at the score here. 6-1 for Shadow Shaman, finally died. Windrunner not able to get any kills in that fight other than the initial one, 5-0. 7-4 on Tidehunter as a support, that's pretty crazy. But this is a pretty early GG. I don't know if they're going to sit Fountain or whatnot, but since there is no concede feature, unfortunately, soon to come, hopefully. But, ooh, a nice block by Earthshaker. They might actually be able to get a kill here on Windrunner if Tiny can combination, which we haven't seen yet. There it is, and boom goes the dynamite. But looking at the most important stats here, which I'm actually not being sarcastic about because gold per minute is actually very important. As Tidehunter, did he just ult? Yeah, he just ulted nothing. I just heard that. But 450 gold per minute, Shadow Shaman who disconnects. 530 on Mirana. I'm actually looking at the wrong one. Gold per minute. Alright, 460 gold per minute on Shadow Shaman. 405 on Mirana. And 410 on Winter. So you have 3 people that are over 400 gold per minute. That is recipe for success, I must say. As, yeah, everybody's disconnected, so I'm just talking to myself right now. So congratulations to Team Epidemic, who wins this game against Virtual eSports.SWE. I don't know if they actually have any other teams from different countries, but maybe I'll ask that after this game. But yes, congratulations to Epidemic. My name is SUNSfan from Dotacinema. We'll be doing a couple more games here, actually. Not sure if I'm going to have a co-caster. We'll see. We'll let you guys know. I'm going to have the splash screen on here in a sec. But yeah, visit Dotacinema. That's the youtube.com/Dotacinema for my amazing voice, if you love my voice, which I've heard many things about. Yeah, so we'll get to the next game very soon. Again, this is the SkyNet League, the second group stages, and we'll be back very shortly. And actually, I'll put a little counter showing when the next game's going to start. Love you.